Hello everyone, welcome to the greenhouse and welcome to the channel. I'm Danny. I hope this video finds you well, and wherever you are, I hope you're warm. It is really cold here in Northeast Ohio today, but it's a toasty 79 in here right now, so I'm enjoying that warm toasty weather. Today's video is brought to you by orchidsupply.store.com. They have everything you need, not just for your orchids, but for your houseplants as well. So don't let the name fool you. And what's especially great is for all the viewers and subscribers, if you enter the coupon code DANNI, D-A-N-N-I, you will receive 12% off. So that's awesome. Today is all about Aglaonema plants, also known as Chinese evergreen plants, as they're sometimes called. I usually refer to them as Chinese evergreen plants because I have to take my time to say Aglaonema, and if I try to pronounce that word without taking my time, I usually mispronounce it, and then I look very silly in front of the person I'm trying to say Aglaonema to. So I call it the Chinese evergreen. Chinese evergreens are native to tropical and subtropical areas of Asia and New Guinea. They like warm weather and they love humidity. I would not let your Chinese evergreen get below 55 degrees. They stay here in my greenhouse where it's an average of 65 to 75 during the winter, and during the summer it's around 100 degrees in here. You can definitely see why anyone would love Chinese evergreens. This looks pink on camera, but I promise you it is a deep Valentine red color, and this is the only one I have an ID to. This is Aglaonema Wishes. I think, and don't quote me on it, I think this one is Aglaonema Dalmatian or Pink Dalmatian. This one is my oldest and it's around 3 years old. I got it as a tiny little plant and it has multiplied in all kinds of new growths and is fabulous. Now, how I care for this, and please keep in mind that every care video for any plant you see on the internet or on YouTube, please keep in mind that what you're hearing advice-wise comes from that grower's experience in growing that particular plant in that particular environment. So please keep that in mind. With that being said, like I said, I do keep them warm and I give them medium light. These are low to medium light plants, but I have found that they thrive best towards that higher end of the spectrum. So if you're an inside grower and you have a window seal that gets that direct sun, that harsh sun, if you put up a sheer curtain, that will diffuse that light and that'll be a perfect spot for this plant. And what I've also found is if you give them too little of light, they really don't thrive very well and they have a hard time growing into a beautiful lush plant. You'll end up with just kind of a sickly little plant that's just hanging on to dear life, not thriving. So they kind of like that higher end of the spectrum of the light. Here's another Chinese evergreen that I love. As you can see, they just have gorgeous pink and reds and greens to them. But look how beautiful this is with that neon pink coloring around that leaf. Unfortunately, I don't have the ID to this one either. It came with no ID. But this one's a little bit more finicky, so this is a great example to show you guys on the one thing you need to be careful with these Chinese evergreens, and that is watering them too soon. Now in the summertime, they do tend to get pretty thirsty and they do dry out faster, and that's because it's hot and they're drinking more. But what I have learned my lesson with is you need to allow that first 2 inches of soil to dry. Not to where it's just still damp, like this is still too damp. That first 2 inches of soil needs to be dry. And if you're not going to do that, if you just keep watering without allowing that top inches to dry, you're gonna rot your plant. These are very prone to rotting right here at their base. And as you can see, maybe right here, that just recently happened to me. Fortunately, the rest of the plant is okay. So please allow that top few inches of soil to dry before watering to prevent that rotting happening. This is what I use to fertilize my Chinese evergreens. I fertilize every other watering throughout the entire year. I don't change it up during summer or winter. I fertilize every other watering throughout the entire year with this 20-20-20 fertilizer. You can find this at any home and garden store as long as it has that 20-20-20 on there, and it is fairly cheap. Another thing I want to touch on about watering your Chinese evergreen is do not water it on a schedule. Like, I'm going to water my plant on the 5th day of every week. Well, that might not work, because they need water when they need water, not on a schedule. And what I mean by that is your plant will tell you when it needs watered. So all 3 of my Chinese evergreens right here are in different size pots. This one is in a small plastic pot with lots of drainage, lots of slits and holes for airflow. So that's gonna dry out, that soil is gonna dry out a lot faster than this pot here that's in no plastic pot. The only drainage it has is one hole at the bottom. This one dries out a lot faster than that one. So if I watered this one on the same schedule I watered this one, I'm gonna kill it and I'm gonna rot it away. So pay attention to your plant. It'll let you know when it needs watered. I hope this video was helpful, and if you have any questions, leave them below down in the comments and I will try my best to get to them and answer them. Happy growing, everyone. Stay safe. Till next time.